So, Nicolas, what are some of the reasons that Russians are suddenly now reconsidering Dubai?
Well, the reasons are twofold. First is the cost of living, which ironically they helped drive up by coming here. Real estate prices obviously went up, as everyone has noticed. There's also the school costs, for example, that they have taken into account. But more importantly, the local banks have become more stringent in enforcing U.S. sanctions on Russia, so it becomes more difficult for them to operate here. And so since then, they've been contemplating other regions or even returning home, for that matter.
Well, so the UAE had been trying to desperately get off this so-called grey list, and I'm wondering if that's why the banks suddenly became more stringent.
Well, they got off the grey list very recently. And obviously, there was a success story. They've put in a lot of effort in getting off that list. So obviously, expectations, they want to stay off that list at all costs. And that means enforcing these sanctions and making sure that Dubai is not seen as a money laundering hub, for example.
Where are they going instead? Where is the next spot for this?
Some might go home. Some are going to Asia. We've also heard Europe. Some might also stay here, right? I mean, the idea of the story was not to say that there's a mass exodus of Russians. Some have built businesses here, built their lives, and some are expected to stay.
Yeah, absolutely. And then what does it mean for real estate prices if even a small number of people leave?
Well, they were in 2022, they were the top buyers of real estate. So as I said, they certainly help fuel those real estate prices that we've seen. But there are already buyers to take their place. Indian buyers, for example, they're already traditional buyers here, but also Chinese. The chairman of one of the biggest developers said that Chinese are increasingly taking over. So I wouldn't expect an immediate drop in real estate prices.
It is a really fascinating story, and I'm curious as to, whether this continues and if it's really only just Russians that are leaving, or are other people leaving too for many of the same reasons that you suggested, like cost of living, school costs?
I think Dubai has always been a transient place. Obviously, the authorities have tried to address that issue. So we'll see people coming in and people leaving. But at this moment, it's such a hotspot for people globally that the new arrivals tend to still outpace the people who leave. So net, I think we're still in an upward cycle.